Polly's perfect pinkies. The fish just love them. And I do too. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, Pinkie. Yum, 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 yum. Well, there we go. This will be my fourth fish. The weather has been absolutely horrendous. I've had Storm Christoph and the Ouzel has burst its banks behind the barges there. On the canal at 3 locks, Luton Angling Club's water. And we had, I think, -4 last night. Oh, look at that, what a beauty. About a pound, lovely skimmer. Just fishing, simple approach. Ground bait and fluoro pinkie. Now, apart from the weather being absolutely horrendous, and with the frost this morning thinking I wasn't going to catch, that can't be at all bad, out getting bites and catching fish like that. Let's get them unhooked and put them in the net. It's over a pound, beautiful fish. Let's see if we can catch another one. Another one. Another nice fish by the feel of it. They're so cold, they just don't want to move. Yeah, another nice little skimmer. What we come to catch. Lovely simple fishing. Ground bait and pinkie. Oh, it's like holding a block of ice. They're absolutely freezing. Mint condition, look, absolutely perfect, not a mark on it. Let's just have a look at the bait I'm using. Two simple baits, a ground bait and fluoro pinkie. Let me just tell you though about the ground bait. You've seen me mix it up. That to me is probably the best skimmer mix that I could use at the moment, especially for this session on the canal where we're fishing ground bait and pinkie. And in that mix, you see I put some brown crumb, and that's my supercharged natural black and my extra fine supercharged canal mix. Now I mix them together when I'm on the canal because it gives me a slightly finer mix, and always riddle it off. And you see I riddle it off with a fine riddle just to take those lumps out, because when you make a ball and you put it in, although you squeeze it together, it goes down and breaks up. And it's very important that it does go down and then it breaks up. You don't want it going down, there's all lumps in it, because the fish could pick up a lump. I'll just squeeze a bit together and just say that was a lump. A skim of 6 ounces plus could suck that in, that might fill it up, and that just probably drift away out your peg. It's all about keeping the fish in your peg and feeding while you're there trying to catch them and not overfeed them. And on the pinkies, why I choose fluoro pinky over anything else is the best pinky available. Canal, drain, river, lake, it just works. Whether it's the colour, but it's just such a brilliant bait. And you can try it for yourselves. You can take white pinky, you can take red pinky, but fluorescent pinky is the best pinky you'll ever get to put on the hook and feed. It just attracts fish. It's brilliant. It really is a good bait. And for squats, sometimes they're hard to get hold of, and pinky being a slightly bigger bait is a better bait to fish with for most people. They'll get on better with pinky than they would with squats. So they're the two baits that I'll be fishing this session with, fluoro pinky and my ground bait. And a good plus with the fluorescent pinky, or all pinkies, but with fluorescent pinkies, is they last, well, I've had pinkies probably 5-6 weeks in the fridge. As long as you keep them chilled when you come back from your session, they just seem to last forever. So that's a very good plus for pinkies. They do last, and it'll cost you a lot less in the long run. And just one other thing on the ground bait is I've made it as a damp mix, but you make it too damp, you won't be able to riddle it. But the reason I'm making it just a little bit damper than normal, there's a little bit of tow on the canal because the lock's letting in water. It's just giving it a slight pull from right to left. And in squeezing that ball as hard as I want, that'll go straight down to the bottom and then just break up as a fine mix on the bottom. So very important that, because if it was too dry, the ball would hold, but it'd all break up before it gets to the bottom. So having it that real damp consistency, I can form a nice hard ball, which I'm showing you here, just like that, and that'll go straight down to the bottom. Lovely jubbly. Right, it's gone a little bit quiet and I'm just going to top it up, because at the start, when I kicked off, I put probably an orange sized ball with a smattering of pinkies in there to kick it off. And through the session I fished so far, I've probably fished an hour and a half, I've just been loose feeding 8 to 10 fluoro pinkies every now and again. But I feel it's time now to just top it up. I caught a perch and it's gone a little bit quiet, so I'm going to top it up with a ball, but I'm going to top it up with like a, say a tangerine, a small tangerine size. I'll show you. Just put some pinkies in. Just that size. I'm going to cup that in. Just put a few little loose pinkies in with it as well. Let me just cup that in. There you go, I'm going to cup that in there. There we go, that come out. Just wash the cup out. I just want to talk you through the two rigs that I'm using. I'll just show you one because it's basically exactly the same setup on the other one, just a lighter float. I've got an 0.8 hook length to a fine wire microbarb size 20 hook, and that's the main line's 0.12, and I've got 3 11 droppers there, and I've got a spread bulk of 10s. And the only difference is the spread bulk on the 5x10, I've used 11s as a spread bulk there. And the difference in depth is probably about 12 inches between the two rigs. One's just going up on top of the shelf to the boat, and this one's just in the deeper water but not right in the deepest of the water. I've got two depths. This rig's set at probably about 3.5 foot, and the other depth's probably 2 3/4 foot. There's probably a foot difference between the two rigs. And the float is one of my MP1 7v10 for the deeper water rig and a 5v10 for the lighter rig for further up the shelf. And the elastic is a solid number 3 elastic. It's very forgiving, and especially with skimmers, how they fight, that hopefully you shouldn't pull out. If you use a stronger elastic, you're likely to pull out the fish. And obviously the lighter rig, the 5v10, is just simply for fishing the overspill of the pinkies that are going past the main baited area. Because if the fish want to back off, there's a place for them to go. Otherwise, you'll catch what's over your ground bait, and once they back off, if you're not loose feeding or you've got another swim further up the shelf, they've got nowhere to go to and settle. So your catch rate will just drop dramatically. So they're the simple 2 rigs. The rig though for fishing in the deeper water, I've got a shorter length of line between pole tip and float. I've probably got about 14 inches. And then the rig for going over, because it's a lighter rig, I have a longer length of line so I can lay it in and drag it towards the boat. And that's it really. 2 simple rigs, both 012, 08 and a 20 hook. Just one's lighter, one's an MP1 5v10, the light rig, and an MP1 7v10 for coming in the deeper water. So it just falls through the water a little bit quicker because it's deeper. Can I fish? Well, that's a nice fish, that one. I'm just enticing the bite where I'm just reluctant to feed. I just drag it. Just drag it to the side just to make them take it. And as I dragged that, it just took it straight away. Feels like a nice skimmer. Let's see if we can see him in case he pulls off. Oh yeah, you'd probably call him a bream. He looks a couple of pounds. Oh, he's a beautiful fish. There we go. Up he comes. Oh, what a fish he is. Absolute beauty. Let's take your time with him. That is a 2 pound fish, an absolute beauty. Let's hold him up and show you. Look at that beauty. Probably just over 2 pound. What a lovely fish on a single fluorescent pinky. Put him in the net and catch some more. There we go, look at that. 2.5, 3 hours fishing on Luton End Club's Canal at 3 locks. Lovely bag of skimmers, 1 perch, cut the roach, all on the lovely fluoro Pinkie. Give it a go, simple method, easy to do, and see you on the bank.